Hey everybody, Brian here for Work to Game, and today we're going to be going over the 3.5 patch notes preliminary highlights. Essentially what that means, if you haven't seen my patch note videos before, is that these are just a highlight of the overall notes. In fact, that there are a lot of other little things that you can go check out regarding items and just a lot of little information. I'm going to include the link to the notes themselves below so you can go check those out and read them for yourselves. An example of something makes the highlight reel versus actually reading the notes themselves is that yes, main scenario quests were added, but instead of going over the names and how many, you can go to the specific notes for that. But I'm just highlighting those various facts, trying to point out any and all little interesting things that hopefully will be interesting to you and help you when you update the game and start playing on the 17th of January. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with 3.5 patch notes. So sound off in the comments below if you have any questions or if there's something that you saw here that you were excited about, that you were surprised about. I know that there's plenty of things that I was like, oh, that looks really cool. So well, let's go ahead and get started. So obviously, main scenario quests have been added. New Chronicles of the Era quests have been added. So you have Dun Scythe, which starts with a quest Where Shadows Reign, which is obviously a level 60 quest. Players must first complete the quest Freedom from Our Skies, which I'm assuming that is related to the Weeping City of Mach. And regarding the Warring Triad, the quest The Last Pillar to Fall is going to be how you unlock Zervan the Demon. Obviously, you must complete the quest Balance Unto All to finish that, or at least get that one started. So they've added new side story quests have been added. They've added new Scholastica quest, new Hildebrand quest, all of that. But here's a couple of side story quests that I wanted to point out. So the Fires of Salmael is a quest that is obviously going to unlock the dungeon Salmael hard. Then they have An Eggy by Any Other Name. And so that's for Summoner level 50 quest. And you can unlock that Lower Limsa Lamenza by the NPC. I'm going to butcher it, Thumbergem. And then obviously you must complete the quest Primal Burdens to be able to unlock that quest. So to unlock your Eggy Glamours, that's going to be how you do it. And then Fiery Wings, Fiery Heart, it's a level 1 Idleshire quest. You talk to a Walking Atlas. Players must first complete the main scenario quest Heaven's Word to unlock that as well. So the amount of XP gained from level 15 to level 50 Disciples of the Hand and Land has been increased, which is really cool. So I guess they're going to try to help people boost up leveling up their gatherers and their crafters from 15 to 50. Some fate adjustments have been made. So fates have been adjusted as follows. The rate at which the following fates appear has been increased. So you have Steel Rain, Behold Now Behemoth, Long Live Coral, Prey Online. Prey Online's time limit has been changed from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. The location of It's Not Lupus has been adjusted, and Acumen's HP has been lowered. The location of One Prince has been adjusted. So we have some treasure hunt adjustments that have been made. So new items can be attained for rewards from the Aquapolis, and then also the drop rate has been increased for certain rewards. In addition to this, they've also made adjustments to the rewards for the following maps: the Archeo skin, the Wyvern skin, and the Dragon skin treasure maps. They've also adjusted the window for the display of the Grand Company. So when you exchange seals for items when talking with a Grand Company, you can see the new redesigned menu there as well. And I think it actually looks really cool. Really nice to see that. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Adventure Squadrons. So the Squadron Attribute section in the Adventure Squadrons menu now displays the maximum limit of the value of the squadron at the player's rank. Pop-up help is now displayed when players hover the cursor over class attributes in the Adventure Squadron menu. It has been made easier to see your squadron meets the strength requirement when selecting squadron missions. I think this is all made as a part of feedback, as well as this is going to be helpful for players. Players will now be able to turn off squadron status updates during cutscenes, in the same way that you can turn off system messages. The time limits for priority missions are now clearly displayed both before the beginning of missions and after completing them. The default cursor position has been changed from OK to Cancel and Yes to No for the following confirmation messages: when you change squadron chemistry, when the squadron sergeant cancels a mission, and canceling training on the regiment board. So the default is now No instead of Yes, essentially. Adjustments have been made to the apartments as follows. Players can now select go to your own apartment option even when they are in another player's apartment. And delivery moogles can now be found in apartment lobbies. So they've also added a painting system in which that you can decorate your apartment or your house with paintings. And so to acquire paintings, they say players can purchase paintings from the Joyous Painter NPC in Idleshire. Players will now be able to sell purchased paintings back to the market or painting on the market board. Players can check what paintings they have up for sale with the painting section in the housing category of the market board. When a number of paintings for sale will increase when you obtain the following achievement. So there's an achievement called Out of Sight, and there's an achievement called Out of Sight, Out of Mind, and that's all dealing with your sightseeing log. Paintings which are unlocked for purchase by obtaining the Out of Sight, Out of Mind achievement will appear in shops after players collect the achievement reward from Jonathas in Old Gridania. Players can also view paintings before they purchase them by selecting the preview subcommand after selecting the painting name. Paintings can be previewed in the following menus: shops, market boards, items linked in the log window in your inventory. So they've also made some adjustments to Triple Triad. So tournaments can now only be held in the Battle Hall. In accordance with this change, players will be unable to play Triple Triad tournament matches in other players' NPCs outside of the Battle Hall. So you can enter the tournament by talking with the following NPCs in the Battle Hall. So there's a tournament record keeper in the Battle Hall on Gold Saucer Card Square tournament record keeper. Players will be able to check their rank and accept rewards from the tournament record keeper at the card square. Battling other players can take part in tournament matches by registering in the hall assistant NPC in the Battle Hall. After players have registered for a tournament, they will be randomly matched with another player. Players will continue to be randomly matched every time a match finishes, unless they cancel their registration at the window that is displayed at the end of the matches. This is done by checking the relevant option in the closing window. So players will appear in the Gold Saucer Card Square after finishing tournament matches. Players will be removed from the Battle Hall 15 minutes before the end of tournaments. In the event that a player is in the middle of the match at this time, they will leave the Battle Hall once their match has concluded. Players will not be paired with players that have already been battled with in the Battle Hall, in the same Battle Hall that they're in. Players can battle the following NPCs in tournament matches by talking to them in the Battle Hall. So they list off the NPCs. Number of matches. The number of playable matches has been lowered for the Spinner's Pool 50 to 20, for Rowena's Cup Classic 45 to 20, for Manderville Tournament of Champions 40 to 20, and the Durrell Memorial 35 to 20. New items have been added to the tournament ranking rewards. So 4th to 6th place, you're going to get a Gold Spinner's card for the Spinner's Pool, 7th to 10th silver, and then 11th to 20th bronze. Rowena's Cup Classic 4th to 6th, all the way down to the 20th. For various rewards, gold, silver, and bronze. Manderville Tournament of Champions, same story, all the way down to the 20th for the gold, silver, and bronze, essentially, and then the Durrell Memorial. So they've added, it looks like they've been added new rewards for the various ranks for the different tournaments. They've added new Triple Triad cards. The random rule that was now only going to be available between 2 players. Thank you. So they're taking that away from NPCs, which is going to be huge. They said that the rule will now be replaced on NPCs with a different rule. So they're just going to switch it out. But NPCs aren't going to have that random rule because it really wasn't random for them. It was random for us. And they've added regional rules to Idleshire. And then the amount of MGP that we get from turning in our cards has been increased. So 5 goes to 100, 600 goes to 1500 MGP. So huge boost in our in turning in those cards for MGP in the Gold Saucer. So they made adjustments to the Wanderer's Tales. So completing any floor of the Palace of the Dead will complete the Revenant Wanderer's Tales objective. So I don't know if that means that they're just making a Wanderer's Tales, like Palace of the Dead, just go do any of it, or if it's just one floor within the range of 10. I guess we'll get clarification on that here in a little bit. Previous requirements have been removed from Frontlines. Players can now compete in the Revenant Wanderer's Tales objectives by participating in any Frontline campaign. So this sounds like that instead of Shatter or Siege or whatever, it's just like, do a Frontlines campaign and you're good. And they've added Alexander the Creator has been added to the Wanderer's Tales. So players can now change their Eggy's outward appearance. Players can change their Eggy's outward appearance by completing the Eggy by any other name side quest. Once this quest has been completed, players will be taught the Eggy Glamour text command. So they show off Emerald, Topaz, and Ruby Carbuncle. And they've got a detail section that we'll go over probably in a separate video for summoners wanting to do that. After inputting the text command, your Eggy will assume the appearance of the chosen carbuncle the next time it's summoned. In order to change your Eggy's appearance once more, you will need to withdraw your Eggy, enter another text command, and then resummon it. The appearances you assign to each of your 3 Eggies will be saved when you log out. So Eggy Glamour is also not going to be visible in PvP content, and appearance data is saved to player's client, will not be reflected when they change platforms. So if you go to another, you have a PlayStation, you play on both PlayStation and PC, it's not going to be saved across those 2 environments. It's just going to be local to whatever you did it on last, which is good to know. So they got a note in here: to ensure the execution of actions which require special status effects, the timing of which these status effects are applied or removed has been adjusted. They don't give specifics, but it sounds like, you know, maybe this means that Enochian, maybe this means Blood of the Dragon, maybe that means they're getting adjustments. I don't know for sure, so that's just a little speculation on my part, but it sounds interesting. In addition, they've made adjustments to prevent connectivity issues, which resulted in Murda's failing to activate. So I know that's probably going to be huge and exciting for a lot of ninjas out there. Maki Matter will no longer be obtainable from the Weeping City, but will now be obtainable from Dun Scythe. That kind of goes in line with what they've been doing this whole time. The drop rates for the Warring Lantern and Dark Whistle Lantern have been increased, and so you're going to see that for the birds, obviously from the Extreme Primal rate has been increased, so we'll see more bird parties coming up with what they're looking for. So they say duties listed in the Duty Finder have been reorganized. The following adjustments have been made to frontline PvP encounters. Players can now register as a freelancer and will automatically be matched to a Grand Company at random. And so you do this under the settings menu in the Duty Finder. We'll see if a lot of people know where that is, but if nothing else, that people are gonna learn about that when doing the system. When participating as a freelancer for PvP encounters, a star mark will be displayed alongside the Grand Company you have chosen. I guess that's to let you and remind you of who you're fighting for. Link Shell Chat, Free Company Chat, and the Novice Network can also now be used in Frontlines, and the number of wolf marks earned for those that place first, second, and third has been increased. So we're seeing a huge boost from third to 300 to 500 for third, second 450 to 750, and first 600 to 1,000. And then wolf marks earned during the Duty Roulette Frontline have also been increased from 600 to 1,000. So the following adjustments have been made to the Wolf's Den, the Feast, and the Fold. So all chat features have been disabled when participating in a PvP match. Due to the restrictions being placed on the chat feature, a quick chat feature has been added. This will allow communication between players. Quick chat has been added to the PvP tab in the Actions and Traits menu. All messages will display in the party chat using the quick chat feature. If for some reason a player is unable to join at the minimum party requirements are not met when the duty commences, all members of the party will be automatically removed from the duty. This sounds that for some reason, if you're queuing in and someone has not loaded in yet, that it's going to remove you. Now, this is under the Wolf's Den and Feast and Fold, so it does not sound like it's a PvE issue because there's still the join in progress. But for PvP, I think they really want to make sure that those matches are even as possible. So Wolfmark rewards have been increased for victory in the Wolf's Den, and the Feast have been raised. So from 300 to 500, and if you lose, you get 250 instead of 150. So they've also made adjustments to the duel system. So they allow you to be able to sync to the item at the lowest level, so you can sync between the two combatants to the lowest item level. You can sync to a generic item level of 150, or you can choose not to sync the item level. Players will be able to have their skills reset when casting, when the duel commences. So if you want to re-challenge on a duel, you don't have to wait for various cooldowns to reset this time around. The counter for the resistance to status afflictions will be reset when starting a duel, and once a duel commences, players will be unable to attack striking dummies. So they made changes to the Chocobo companion system, which is amazingly exciting. Players can now access the following when their Chocobo companions are summoned. So the Duty Finder, Raid Finder, Deep Dungeon, Aquapolis, Instance Quest Battles, Hall of the Novice. All of it is exciting and going to be really cool. Players can now undertake the following duties where their Chocobo companion is summoned. So Grand Company leaves and Gathering leaves. Players can now access Chocobo Porters while their Chocobo companion is summoned. I like this. Like, oh, I'm going to ride this other bird. Players can now summon their Chocobo companion in a full party. The way Chocobo companions are displayed in the party list has been adjusted as follows. They will not display when mounted or in cities. Other players' Chocobo companions will no longer appear in the party list. They can no longer be assigned a number as a party member. Players will no longer receive a party bonus when summoning a Chocobo companion solo. So when both your companion and your pet have been summoned, in the case of a summoner or a scholar or something like that, at the same time, only your pet will be displayed in your party list, and that's regarding the PlayStation version only. So PlayStation 3 does not get to have and show both in that case, in the party list at least. Now this is, I think, pretty exciting. Should a player consume a food item while already under its effects, the duration of the effects will be extended. The effects will be extended up to twice the duration of the original time. If you combine the food effects with Grand Company actions, however, the effects may be even extended further. So this is really cool. So if you're like, oh, I need to refresh my food, it's going to fall off in 5 minutes. Let me just put another one on. Instead of losing that 5 minutes, it sounds like you're gaining. It sounds like it's in addition. So I wonder if it stacks up to a certain amount, but I guess we'll find out come the release of the patch. So the experience gained for crafting and gathering has been increased for levels 1 to level 55. The amount of XP rewarded for successfully completing crafter and gather guild leaves has also been increased. Only guild leaves for level 1 to 55 will be affected by this change. Alright, Party Finder time. The Party Finder has been expanded to include players from all worlds on the same data center. Players will now be able to recruit characters from any of these worlds and form a cross-world party. Players will be able to use the party chat and register for duties in cross-world parties as they would normally. The following features can be used while participating in cross-world parties. So, party chat, registering in the duty finder, registering in the raid finder, ready check. The following features cannot be used while participating in cross-world parties: forming alliances, registering for custom matches, the sort party list function, actions and functions such as protect and teleport offer, which affect nearby party members. So it sounds like that you obviously probably can teleport, but it's just not going to prompt anybody that hey, you know, you get a free teleport with this party. We'll have to see here how that takes effect. A special world icon will be displayed above the party members from a different world. Upon the commencement of a duty, the party list will revert to the normal display. Players can be recruited from other worlds by doing the following: recruit players from other worlds by checking the recruit members across data center option. So you can still do a party recruiter that is just for your data center in that regards. Please note that cross-world parties cannot be formed for the following duties: quest battles, fates, treasure hunts, the hunt, exploratory missions, and deep dungeon. Players will now be able to form private parties by setting a password. So you can put a password of a 4-digit number on any of the party recruitment ones that you create. So other additions that they've made to the Party Finder. So they've added a search feature and filters that have been added to the Party Finder window. So you can see that you can kind of filter down to particular content that you're looking for, and as well as displaying the number of people recruiting for any particular content as well. Searching your own data center in your world, as well as any private matches, has been added as well. So this is going to be, I think, very helpful for everybody to get involved. So the following filters can be applied when searching the objective. So you can, just like within your duty finder, you can kind of pick on those, and it's only going to show you the related detail items. So you can see the recruiter name, who's being searched. It's got the special icon if it is a cross-world party finder as well. The name of players who are recruiting cross-world will be displayed in blue, and so your own your own world is going to be displayed in the orange that it has been. Players recruiting from other worlds will have an icon next to their name. The text command, the text in the comments tab for Party Finder can now be selected by the mouse. The following content will be displayed in order of difficulty: dungeons, trials, raids. An icon will be displayed to indicate if you're in the middle of forming a cross-world party. Players' worlds will now be displayed when they are talking in the chat window, and this is also a setting that you can turn on and off. Search information indicating your current cross-world party status will be added. The following changes have been made to the party recruitment summon commands. The invite to company command has been removed from the party finder for players on your world server. View Party Finder will be the only subcommand available under Party Finder for players residing on different worlds. Players will now be able to share information with those that they have recently partied with the contact list feature. The contact list can be found under the social menu in the main menu. The character and world names of the last 50 people that you've formed a party with in the Duty Finder and Raid Finder. This also includes cross-world party members. The following features can be accessed by selecting a player from the contact list and opening the subcommand menu. So player characters on your world server, you can send a tell, invite to link shell, send friend requests, add to blacklist and target, but for players on a cross world, you can only add to blacklist. So they've made some adjustments to the novice network. By being invited, you're going to be welcomed with a certain message that says join the novice network or decline the invitation. Mentors can now access the Novice Network at any time via the Novice Network List button located at the bottom of the log window. This button can also be used to rejoin the Novice Network in the event a mentor has left. A tooltip will now be displayed when selecting tabs of the log window or the Novice Network List button. Players who have not played the game in 45 days or more will have at least one class or job at level 50 or above will now receive a returner status. Players who receive the returner status are eligible to accept the returner's bounty, which consists of the following: access to the Novice Network, an XP bonus when partying with a mentor up to level 20, the returner online status icon, which is this nice little sprout with a crown. Looks actually really cool. So this is interesting. Players will now be able to invite qualifying offline friends and free company members to return and play the game during certain campaign periods. To send an invitation, select a player from your friends list or free company member list who is offline. Then select invite friend to return from the subcommand menu. Provided that they meet the requirements of the campaign, they will receive an email indicating that you have invited them to return. Review the details of the campaign. So they've got a campaign, it looks like, that's going to be scheduled, or at least the site will be updated on January 17th. They've updated the Duty Finder and Raid Finder to be adjusted as follows. The status of the Duty Finder will now appear in the duty list. So forming the party and the various roles that you've got waiting, that's really cool. PlayStation 3 doesn't get this. An icon will now appear next to the duties that you have completed. The Duty Finder and Raid Finder will now remember the most recently viewed tab until the game client is closed. The Join Party in Progress option is now located under the Requirements tab of the Duty Finder settings window. So that's going to be, for people who aren't aware that there's a Duty Finder settings window, they're going to have to go find it there. A unique icon has been assigned to each of the settings for the requirements of loot rules tables in the Duty Finder setting window. When any of these options are selected, their associated icon will be displayed in the bar above the Duty Finder interface. I think that looks actually pretty cool, in my opinion. So, and they also highlight the frontline freelancer. You want to check this so that way you are not going to be bound by a grand company. The frontline freelancer option has been added under the requirements tab of the Duty Finder setting window. By selecting this option before joining a frontline campaign, grand company affiliation will be ignored when matching you to a party. A message will be displayed indicating that certain settings cannot be used when selecting a duty. A unique icon will be displayed next to the average item level requirement and item level sync requirements for duties. A text auto advance function has been added for cutscenes. So pressing the spacebar, triangle, or I guess the Y button during a cutscene will toggle text auto advance on or off. The icon will be displayed indicating that it's on. So that means the text is going to automatically advance like it has in some of the various cutscenes or in that. I think this is pretty cool. So you can set tab. You can tab right for faster and shift tab for slower speed for the auto advancement of that. For anybody who's like me, who's trying to target that elusive aetheryte among all the other icons, you can hold the control key while viewing the map and will now prioritize the aetheryte icon over nearby icons. This feature can be used for instances in which you would like to select the aetheryte icon when other nearby icons appear to be overlapping on the map. Subcommands to improve the ease of organizing gear sets have been added to the gear set window, so equip previous and equip next. Players can also now set the following hotbar layouts via the character configuration interface. So this is really cool. You can have your standard, horizontal, and you have your vertical, but you have the various pairings of all the ones that you want, and the UI for that is actually pretty neat. So if you want 10 vertical or 10 horizontal, or kind of this mixed bag of various squares, you can really customize that, and that's exciting to see them bring some changes to the just the regular hotbar, since they've been giving controller players like me so much love for the last little bit. So hotbar layouts can also be saved via the HUD layout interface. Flying text for other players has been categorized as pop-up text, which can be disabled via the character configuration interface. So you can actually turn off other players' little pop-up text now, and that's under the character configuration. A search function has been added to the list of completed quests in your journal window, which is also great. So if you go to the completed quest and you're like, I need to find it, and you're on like the Gamer Escape Wiki, and you're like, okay, here's the quest name, you can actually search for it and get to it much quicker. Both quest titles and journal entries can be searched by unchecking the title box only. So under the hotbar settings display tab, they give the option for how you want to have your hotbar laid out. So no more horizontal and vertical, you have a mixed bag of all that you could wish for, and so you can see that displayed there. And then character information, the display duty list, displaying registered duties and timers, and display duty registration details and timers. So for the changes in the duty finder, where you can now see all that various recruitment information, you can turn that on and off as well. I don't know if it's off by default or on by default, but it's pretty exciting, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I know I, for one, am always popping back in to check to see where we are with our roles and requirements. So that is our 3.5 patch notes highlights. Please let me know and sound off in the comment below if there's anything particularly that you're excited about or you like. You know, obviously with 3.5, this is going to be a great and exciting time as we march towards Stormblood and obviously the FanFest in February. So, you know, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, I think the other button works just as well. We hope you subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are a subscriber, welcome and thanks for coming back. We're really glad to have you here. I'm really looking forward to patch 3.5. So let me know what you're most excited about for the patch, and then hopefully we'll be able to get some cross-world party finder going here in a couple of weeks for all the work to game, as I've been referring to some of y'all in the comments, the workforce out there. So my name's Brian. This is Work to Game. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that we'll get to see you in my next video. But until then, I hope you have a great day. Take care.